Hello, this is 5 on 20 News with Richard Aguirre
and Chloe Jackson, coming to you live from our downtown studio. It's Thursday, July 20th. Let's talk local headlines.
Let's. Doug Ducey was among a group of Republican governors who spent over $400,000 at a Miami golf club owned by the president earlier this year. According to the group's IRS filing, they paid over $117,000 to Trump's Doral golf course in April, then over $280,000 in June for what was referred to as events in the filings. These payments represent the largest financial contribution to a Trump-owned property by politicians, according to the group Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington, or CREW. A spokesman said that the expenses were related to the Republican Governors Association Corporate Policy Summit held in May. However, the spokesman said that the golf course was booked back in February 2015, well before Trump got into the White House. In addition to Ducey, confirmed attendees at the event included Governor Scott Walker of Wisconsin, Rick Scott of Florida, Matt Belvin of Kentucky, and Larry Hogan of Maryland. Filings also show that the groups spend more for these events than other groups made for similar events in 2016, proving that Trump once again didn't hesitate to screw over his own party.
Arizona Senator Jeff Flake defended his Democratic opponent Deidre Aboud after she was harassed online for posting a picture of the Constitution on her Facebook page. The post prompted an outburst of cyberbullying, including comments referring to Aboud's Muslim faith. Flake took to Twitter to express his support for Aboud, saying, "Sorry you have to put up with this. Lots of wonderful people across Arizona. You'll find them." He added, "You'll just have to wade through the sea of meth addicts, gun-toting Bible beaters, and, of course, racist politicians."
Officials with the Arizona Game and Fish Agency say that the Burro Fire, which burned over 27,000 acres, may actually be good for wildlife in the area. Now that the fire is 100% contained, Game and Fish Officer Mark Hart said that the fire will clean up and the habitat will be healthier in the long run, even though it appears devastating. Hart said that the dense vegetation conceals predators that kill wildlife, leading to reduced numbers of deer and bighorn sheep. With less dense brush, these animals have higher chances of surviving. Hart pointed to changes in animal populations following the 2011 Monument Fire in Sierra Vista and the 2015 Buster Fire as evidence that forest fires can be boon for wildlife. Experts believe that deer population will increase over the next 5 years, along with the number of mountain lions to prey on the deer. Fire officials are investigating rumors that the mountain lion named Ralph started the Burro Fire because he was starving. I had no idea mountain lions could start fires.
Very smart mountain lion. The Office of Governor Doug Ducey awarded $400,000 to a charity run by a former staff member. Ducey confirmed the grants to Not My Kid, a nonprofit group that aims to promote positive choices by educating youth, families, and communities. The group is run by Steve Moak and his wife, Debbie Moak, who was a former director for Ducey's office. Debbie Moak signed a recusal letter in 2016, claiming that she had no substantial interest in the nonprofit, which Ducey's spokesman said was signed to ensure that Debbie Moak didn't influence the group's decision-making. Moak was head of Ducey's Office of Youth, Faith, and Family early in his tenure. She resigned that post in June, just a month before the nonprofit was given the grant. Ducey's spokesman said that the funding decision was approached in a way to ensure that there was no conflict of interest. This included asking Moak if she had conflicts of interest twice, in two totally different ways. Ducey also followed this up with a long, discerning stare to further ensure Moak was being honest.
Arizona Senator John McCain revealed that he has brain cancer yesterday. The 80-year-old senator was diagnosed with a primary glioblastoma, a type of brain tumor which was discovered when McCain had surgery to remove a blood clot from his eye. Glioblastoma is an aggressive tumor that forms in the tissue of the brain and spinal cord. McCain had tissue removed as part of the surgery, and a statement from his office said that he was recovering amazingly well. He's now recovering at his Arizona home, and his family are considering treatment options, which will likely include chemotherapy and radiation. We wish the senator the best and hope he gets on his feet so he can continue fighting the cancer in the White House.
Now in national and international
Now in
news.
national and international news. I was supposed to read that.
The White House named Raytheon lobbyist Mark Esper as Secretary of the Army yesterday, according to the Military Times. Esper served as Raytheon's Vice President of Governmental Affairs since 2010. Before that, he held a number of positions at the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. His Army career involves a combat tour in Iraq during the Gulf War, and he also served as Director of National Security Affairs under former Majority Leader Bill Frist. Esper joins a group of defense contractor executives in the Defense Department, including former Boeing lobbyist Patrick Shanahan and former Textron Systems lobbyist Ellen Lord. Senator John McCain criticized the Trump administration's decision to name defense contractors for government posts. McCain said in an interview that he doesn't want Trump to nominate any other representatives of the top 5 defense contractors, which include Lockheed Martin, Boeing, Raytheon, General Dynamics, and Northrop Grumman. A source told The Hill that McCain may try to kill the appointment of Esper because of his past as a lobbyist. The Trump administration hopes that his brain tumor will take him out before this happens.
That was cold.
It's harsh.
A coalition of Republican and Democratic lawmakers are seeking to make criticizing Israel a felony, according to The Intercept. 29 Republicans and 14 Democrats want to implement a new law called Israel Anti-Boycott Act that would make it a felony for Americans to support an international boycott against Israel. Human rights groups have called for boycotts in the past in response to Israel's treatment of Palestinians, which some may say is a military occupation. The 2 sponsors of the bill are Democrat Ben Cardin of Maryland and Republican Rob Portman of Ohio. According to the bill, those who are found guilty of violating the law would receive the minimum penalty of $250,000 fine and a maximum criminal penalty of $1 million fine and 20 years in prison. The Jewish Telegraphic Agency reported that the bill was drafted with assistance from the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, or AIPAC, the largest and most powerful Israel lobby in the country and the largest acronym I've ever read. In the group's 2017 lobbying agenda, they named the bill as one of the top priorities for the year. Some co-sponsors of the bill include Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, Democrats Kristen Gillibrand, Ron Wyden, Richard Blumenthal, and Maria Cantwell. They join Republicans Ted Cruz, Ben Sasse, and Marco Rubio as fellow haters of free speech. See, they can agree on something after all. So far, not a single member of Congress has denounced the bill, although the ACLU has come out against the legislation. Ted Cruz introduced another law on Monday that would make it a felony to vote against the Anti-Israel Boycott Act.
The House voted yesterday to streamline the federal permitting process for a variety of oil and natural gas pipelines. Lawmakers voted 248 to 179 on the Promoting Interagency Coordination for Review of Natural Gas Pipelines Act, introduced by Texas Republican Bill Flores. The bill would designate the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, or FERC, to be the lead agency for permitting interstate gas pipelines. All other agencies would need to work through the FERC as opposed to conducting separate reviews, as is current practice. The bill would also eliminate a requirement that pipeline projects need to obtain permits from the president. It would also end the role of the State Department in these decisions. Democrats objected to the bill, claiming that it seeks a shortcut for the environmental review process and would end up speeding up climate change. But Republican Fred Upton said that the bill would bring greater certainty, accountability, and transparency to the process because it would take politics out of the picture. The bill came in response to the decision by the Obama administration to stop the Keystone XL pipeline in 2015. The Trump administration restarted the project this year, but it still needs a permit from the state of Nebraska before it can move forward. Democrat Kathy Castor pointed out that 90% of pipeline approvals already go through the FERC, making the Republican bill essentially pointless. But you have to admit that the Promoting Interagency Coordination for Review of Natural Gas Pipelines Act is quite the catchy name.
It's not catchy. That was a joke.
It's a mouthful.
Well, it looks as though Republicans aren't done yet trying to make Americans have no health care. Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said that lawmakers might saddle up and give it another college try after Congress had lunch with the president, who scolded them for not coming together to rob the American people of access to the health insurance that they deserve. This week, the Republicans failed in their effort to pass their bill to replace the Affordable Care Act. Then they failed again when McConnell tried a backup plan of eliminating the ACA without a replacement, which received even less support. However, McConnell hasn't yet stated definitely if they'll try again, and the decision would need to be approved by a Senate committee. The news comes on the same day that the Congressional Budget Office, or CBO, released a report stating that 17 million people would lose their health care in 2018 if the ACA were eliminated without a replacement. The same report found that 32 million people would lose their insurance by 2026 if no replacement were found. Also in 2026, the report found that premiums would double. However, the report also found that by 2026, we will inhabit gorgeous robot bodies, so kind of balances out.
Looks like you already got yours. The Supreme Court upheld a ruling by a Hawaii judge that the Muslim travel ban does not include grandparents and cousins. The Muslim ban includes citizens of 6 majority Muslim countries such as Libya, Yemen, and Iran, but was rejected. The Trump administration passed a revised ban last month, giving certain exemptions for individuals with green cards and their family members. However, grandparents and cousins were left off the list. But the Supreme Court order leaves in place the ruling that extended protections to both grandparents and cousins, along with brothers-in-laws, sisters-in-law, aunts and uncles, nephews, and nieces. However, the Supreme Court did retain the ban on sugar daddies, kissing cousins, and bad mamma jammas.
I like bad mamma jammas.
Who doesn't?
My name is Richard Aguirre.
And I'm Chloe Jackson.
OJ was granted parole today, so you can get his autograph, and I heard that he was gonna make a living signing autographs now.
That's a way to do it. Better than armed robbery.
Or murder.
This was 5 on 20 News. Thank you. Stay creative, Tucson.
Bye.